not in our hand. The phala, the result is inconceivable, indeterminable and unknown. And I should not have I am the doer attitude. But in some other context, you have also said you are responsible for whatever you do and whatever situation you are in. I am not able to correlate the two. Explain. Question is, correcta solunga, who am I? On the one side you are saying you are not the doer, on the other side you are saying you are responsible, you make yourself, you mar yourself. Na say clearly. Correcta? Adan is asking. Adi ivlo periya explanation koduttar. You are not the doer. I am not the doer. And you are responsible for whatever you do. How do you reconcile these two? Whenever you say I am the doer, you attribute you are the cause. I will come to you are responsible separate and then we will reconcile both. They are not contradictory with each other. They are not contradiction. None in the Shastras are contradictory with each other. We just need some, they leave some gaps in between for us to fill it. That's all. So they appear to make, it seems to be like a contradictory statements. So primarily speaking, there can't be a contradiction. Or if there is a contradiction, then it can't be a Shastra. If there is a contradiction, then it can't be a vidhi. It can't be a law. So when we say it is a law, when we say it is a vidhi, there is no contradiction. But apparently there seems to be a contradiction. How do you reconcile both? First, when you say I am the doer, analyze that. You attribute that you are the cause. You attribute that you are the cause. In the karya karana sambandha, cause and effect relationship, what you have to be very clear is understanding what cause are you? What type of cause are you? What type of cause are you? You should understand that there are many causes. Fundamentally, the causes is of two. One is called the Sanskrit word, I will say, then we'll use the English word. The Sanskrit word for the two types of causes is nimitta karana, upadana karana. In English, it is called separable cause, inseparable cause. You can use primary cause, secondary cause. But this primary cause, secondary cause and all doesn't really convey as in what this nimitta and upadana conveys. So forget the Sanskrit word. Doesn't matter. What is the primary cause and what are the secondary causes? Example, a pot. Standard example, clay and the pot is a standard example, and you get very irritated with this snake and rope, clay and pot. Why can't you give some better? Why can't you give better examples? See, when this was taught to a 10-year-old, see, all this wasn't taught to 80 and 70. When this was taught to 10-year-old, what example can you give? You can only give rope and snake and pot and clay. And it is a complete in itself. Now, pot is the effect. Carefully follow. Pot is the effect. What is the cause? Clay. Clay is the cause. Straight away you say clay is the cause because clay is the primary cause. If clay is the cause, wherever there is clay, it should turn into pot. Wherever there is clay, that clay should turn into pot. Therefore, clay is not the clay itself is not the only cause, even though pot is made of clay. So what are the other causes? The pot maker, the technique of pot making, the wheel, the stamba, the post that he uses to turn the wheel, the water that he uses to shave, fire that he used to bake, sun that is used to dry. So for a pot, what are all the causes? So many causes. But then why do you say clay? Why do you say clay? Because there is a difference between all other causes and the clay. That is why you say clay. You don't say fire. Even though when you say fire, you are still. Supposing somebody asks you, what causes? What is the cause for the pot? You can say water. Still you are right. You can say stamba. Still you are right. But still you say clay. Why? What is the difference between clay as the cause for pot and all other reasons as the cause for pot? All others are separable. Clay is inseparable. All other causes are separable. Clay is inseparable. The primary cause. The pot maker can make the pot and leave the pot. He is separate from the pot. The sun is separate from the pot. The wheel is separate from the pot. The pole is separate from the pot. What is not separate from the pot? Clay. Therefore, all the causes we divide into two. Primary and secondary. From the standpoint of the pot, all can say, I am the doer. From the standpoint of the pot, everybody can say, I am the doer. The pot maker can say, I am the doer. The wheel can say, I am the doer. Technique can come and say, technology. Technology can come and say, I am the doer. And yet, whenever the question is asked, cause for what, you say? Clay. Why? In every effect, there is a separable cause and an inseparable cause. The inseparable causes derive the phala according to that nature. The separable causes. The inseparable cause is that which goes with the effect. Correct. The inseparable cause is that which goes with the effect. Therefore, when the pot gets beaten up, what gets beaten up? The clay gets beaten up. When the pot is broken, when the pot is broken, pot maker need not get broken. Illa sir, avrukku dhaan jaasti. Further, he has assumed an exaggerated notion. Even though he is one of the cause, he has assumed an exaggerated notion. So this exaggerated notion is called I am the doer. Vedanta doesn't say you are not the doer. This exaggerated notion that you say, I am the doer. When you say I am the doer, two things you are saying in that. Which is what they are objecting to. When you say I am the doer, you are saying two things in it, which is the objection. What are the two things that you say when I am the doer? I am the only doer. Wheel can also say that. The stamba can also say that. I am the only doer. First thing. And then you say something else also. Two things you say. அது I am the அது அவர் சொன்னதை காப்பி அடிக்கூடாது. அதெல்லாம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லயே வந்தாச்சு. Two things I said. What is the first thing? I am the only doer. Second thing, carefully follow. Second thing you say is, you will look at all other causes and you will say, my contribution is slightly more than you are. Whenever you say I am the doer, either you say I am the only cause or you say நீங்க எல்லாம் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க பட் மை கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் இஸ் கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்திங்கிறது நீங்க ஒத்துதான் ஆகணும். பிகாஸ் இட் இஸ் மோர் சட்டில் தென் டெக்னாலஜி கேன் கம் அண்ட் சே இட் இஸ் மோர் சட்டில் தென் தேர்ஃபோர் you and me are same and how can you are able to follow? Vedanta comes and says this implication that you give when you say I am the doer is wrong. What is it? I am the only doer, nor can you compare yourself with the other causes and say my cause is, my contribution is more. Because even though when all the secondary causes are there, primary cause illanna, nothing can be done. Are you okay till now? Now clay and pot utrungo. Now come to world and Brahman. What is the primary cause for world? Brahman. Who is the doer? Brahman. Ange I am the doer is? Ange first ball clean bolt. God edukarathukulle that fellow is out. Why? Because primary cause is that which goes through everything. Therefore, who is the actual doer? Brahman is the actual doer. But that Brahman says, though doing, I am not doing. God says, though doing, I am not doing. Wonderful is that? Are you able to follow? I am the doer. How you cannot say you are the doer is because in the spokes are the secondary causes. Not one spoke can claim any extra credit. Angada equality comes. Herein comes the equality. As in, one person cannot claim more. More credit. Are you okay till now? Now comes the real problem. It is working easy. You may not have the attitude of I am the doer. Genuinely you don't have the attitude of I am the doer, but the power you get will be different only. Why? That is because of the quality of the contribution. Are you able to follow? Ingala we get very confused. Even though you don't have the attitude of I am the doer, the power you get will be, the fruit you get will be different only. That cannot be avoided, that cannot be changed. Why? A CEO might have the attitude that I am not the doer, but the result he gets will be, the compensation he gets will be more than the attitude of the security guy who also has this notion that I am not the doer. Security guy, the liftman also has I am not the doer attitude. The CEO also has I am not the doer attitude. Compensation will not be same for both. Why? For that is the nature of the very quality of your contribution. The phala comes. You have nothing to do with it. I am the doer means you have You have nothing to do with it. The Jnani takes the approach of I have nothing to do with it. The Bhakta takes the approach of whatever has come, it is prasad. The Bhakta takes that attitude. He may say God's prasad or may say Guru Prasad. No, they have these names. No, Ishvara Prasad, Guru Prasad, simply Prasad also. Prasad means what? Prasad means what? No reason to complain. Prasad means you have no reason to complain. Prasad தான் சார், பட் இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் சால்ட் இருந்தா நல்லா இருந்திருக்கும்னா that prasad buddhi is gone. Are you able to follow? Prasad means as it is, you accept. This is the attitude that the Bhakta has. The Jnani says, because of the quality of the contribution, this will be the phala, and I have nothing to do with it. It means he has no expectation over the fruit. Please understand. No expectation over the fruit, because of the English language, you most have misunderstood it to me. Zero result. No expectation of the fruit means whatsoever the fruit is, you are okay with it. ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் வித்தியாசம் இருக்கு. Are you able to follow? Whenever we say don't expect any fruit, don't expect fruit, don't expect fruit, now you go back thinking zero fruit. No. Because of the English limitation of the English language. For it is against the law that whatsoever action you do, you will get a action produces a result. It's a law, it's a vidhi. Nobody can. And yet we say don't expect means what? Don't expect means what? It is not expectation of a zero result. Whatsoever the result is, you are okay with it. Whatsoever the result in Shankar? Whatsoever the result in what is that? சொல்லுங்க.
More than.
நாலுதான். Whatsoever the fruit means is only 4. என்னப்பா? You get no இல்லப்பா. பலானா knowing இல்ல, அது ஞானம். ஞானம் வந்துருச்சுன்னா பலா is gone. ஞானம் இல்லாதனாலதான் we are talking about all this because there is no ஞானம். When ஞானம் comes, you know எல்லாம் கிடையாது இல்லையா? ஃபெயிலர். சொல்டா. நாலு என்னது? நாலு.
You get exactly what you want.
Correct.
You get more than what you want. You get less than what you want. You get opposite of what you want.
You do an action. இந்த நாளத்துல you will get ஏதாவது ஒண்ணு கண்டிப்பா you will get. Whatsoever you get, you are okay with it. You have no expectation of a particular result. It's not zero result. How can there be zero result when you do an action? For action will produce a. Now what it will produce? We don't know. Are you okay? What it will produce, we don't know. But nevertheless, there will be a result. Yarga? To whom? For me, na? Doer. Therefore, the doer is responsible for whatever the phala comes, even though he may not know what he is going to get. Thus proven. Hence proven. Correct. That's the கிடையாது. Hence proved. புரிஞ்சுதா? Though you may not know what the four is going to be, you know for sure you will get any one of this. ஏதாவது ஒன்று கண்டிப்பா வரும். அட்லீஸ்ட் திட்டாவது கிடைக்கும். அட்லீஸ்ட் ஓலையாவது இல்லையா? அட்லீஸ்ட் யூ மே கெட் பீட்டன் அப். பட் சம்திங் யூ வில் கெட். இல்ல சார் ஒண்ணுமே கிடைக்கலையா? தட் இஸ் இம்பாசிபிள். ஒண்ணுமே கிடைக்கலன்னா யூ ஆர் சேயிங் வாட் யூ தாட் யூ வில் கெட், யூ டிடன்ட் கெட் அண்ட் யூ காட் தி ஆப்போசிட் ஆஃப் இட். கிளாஸுக்கு வந்தா ஒண்ணுமே கிடைக்கலையே சார், அது எப்படி? தண்ணியாவது கிடைக்கிறது இல்ல எனக்கு, உங்களுக்கு பைத்தியமாவது பிடிக்கிறது இல்ல. கிளாரிட்டி வர சொல்லியோ அட்லீஸ்ட் யூ ஆர் கோயிங் mad. No. So something you are, so whatever you get, this is the most painful, cruel law of karma. Even though you are the doer, even though you are responsible for what you are going to get, you have no say or control on it. இது புரிஞ்சா அப்படியே that fellow leaves the karma and he becomes a jnani. Able to follow? That's why the jnani says, I have no karma, because so absurd is this reality of life, so foolish is this reality of life. What is the reality of life? You are the doer as in the secondary cause. I've already established பண்ணியாச்சு இல்லையா? லிங்க் பண்ணுங்க, don't forget. You are the doer as in the secondary cause, dependent on the quality of the secondary cause. Definitely you will get a fruit. For that fruit that you get, you are responsible. Hence, where comes a corollary is, corollary comes here. Adi, what you will get, you don't know. You think you will get garland, you will get brickbats. You think you are going to get a brickbat, you will get a bouquet. You may get exactly what you want, you may get more than what you want, you may get less than what you want, you may get the opposite of what you want. 2 days back, in the college class, one girl stood up and said, sir, fifth possibility also we can say no. I said, what is the Abhinam of fifth possibility? Different, no, sir. Maybe not opposite, but different. Yeah. Different na innamma. You may go for sketches and you may get a bata, but you got shoe. But you got? Are you able to follow? Different, no. I said, probability you can go. Depending upon your penetrating capacity, go as deep as you can. More probabilities you understand, more philosophical you become. More number of probabilities you can conceive of, more philosophical you become. How? Though you are the doer, though you have been claiming I am the doer, I am the doer, I am the doer now kuda, doer should have a say on the result. Doer should have a control on the result. Karmanyevadhikarasya mapaleshu kadachana. Chapter 2 he has cleared it very well. Your adhikara is in karmani eva adhikara, not over the phala. In fact, in action, we don't cross the first step itself in understanding action because we don't know this distinction. What is the distinction? As a doer, you have no. As a doer, you have no say on the result. Okay, sir, if I don't have a say, then what else has a say? Horoscope. Ingara superstition comes. You understand that you don't have a say, but you believe that something else can have a say. Who is that? What is that something else? Maybe fate, maybe horoscope, maybe you bring in any external factor. Now you can bring in any external factor. But that doesn't alter the truth. What? You are the doer. You have no choice. You cannot escape from. You cannot escape from the doing, though not knowing. Are you able to follow? You can't escape the doing, not knowing what you are going to get. How beautifully Krishna tells Arjuna in the beginning of the second chapter itself. You know what will happen? The probability, he puts it very beautifully. Law madri podala. He just gives the probability. From this, you have to sit and derive the principle. He said, what will happen, Arjuna? If you die, Veera Swarga. If you die, Veera Swarga. If you win, enjoyment. By running away, what are you going to get? By running away, what are you going to get? Akirtida. Meaning, whatever you have also, it's lost. So by escaping, you lose what you, when you say you lose what you have means what? You lose what you have means the seed for another cycle is created. Whenever you escape, the seed for the next cycle is created. That is why Vedanta says don't escape. Ironically, Vedanta is seen as yes. Look at that. Always it is like that. You escape. Escaping is preparing to do the same mistake again. Escapism is a preparation for committing the same mistake again. When you take responsibility, you don't. When you take responsibility, you don't repeat it again. That's how you become free. Are you able to follow? When you take responsibility, you don't repeat it. What makes you to repeat it? You escape from the current. When you escape, what are you escaping from? You can escape from the environment. You cannot escape from your mind. Even if you commit suicide, you escape only from the body and the environment. Even when you commit suicide, you don't escape from your mind. Because wherever you go, that mind is, that mind precedes you always one step before and says, come. I am waiting. You follow? Therefore, escapism is not the way. You have to do. And how do you have to do? How do you have to do an action? Shraddha. How do you have to do? With? I can't escape. I have to do. And when I have to do, I can't do it lackadaisical. Lackadaisical na Tamil? ஏனோ தானோ கரெக்ட் அப்படிலாம் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஏனோ தானோலாம் செய்யக்கூடாது. இண்டிஃபரன்ஸோடலாம் செய்யக்கூடாது. You have to do as though it is. As though you are the doer and you are the only doer. அப்பா doershipல இவ்வளோ இருந்துச்சுன்னா automatically the mind will want to taste the result, no? The mind will want to enjoy the result, no? The mind will want to arrogate the result, no? And it comes and says, your adhikara is over with doing manitya. Okay, how did you do? With shraddha or without shraddha? Without shraddha. Failure. Go back and do again. How? With shraddha. Now I have done with shraddha. அதுக்கப்புறம் பேசக்கூடாது. Whatever result comes, அது பக்தா. Jnani says, whatever result comes, I have nothing to do with it. Meaning, either way, They do not take responsibility for the effect. They take responsibility for the doing. The responsibility is not over the effect. The responsibility is over the doing. In that responsible doing, you become free. Free of what? Free of the kartrutva and free of the bhoktrutva. The kartrutva is I am the doer. Bhoktrutva is I am the, as the doer, I become the enjoyer. No. Vedanta says, you are the doer with Shraddha. Appara idoda nipatrengla sir. You are the doer with Shraddha. Mukhyamanadu uttiyappa. Ellattukku mukhya what is it? What is the third most vital? Doing. Shraddha. No expectation of the result. Third important thing. Ellattukku oru vaartha dhaan. Single word. And we have used these words million times till now. Do. First to do. Better is action than ஒண்ணுமே பண்ணாம இருக்கிறதுக்கு தப்பா பண்ணா கூட is better. Correct, no? Rather than not doing anything, doing it wrongly is better. Okay. So first is what? Doing. Abbada. Porma. Do it with Shraddha. Innu doing la thinking. Don't go to don't give answer in relation to the para. First is doing. Second is Shraddha with Shraddha in doing. Third. Do it till you die. Adala Shraddha undachi. Selfless. ஒரு வேர்ட்ல சொன்னா you should get the meaning correctly. Objectivity, sakshi. Do it with Shraddha, do it with sakshi bhavatoda, Shraddhavoda, karma. இந்த குவாலிட்டி எல்லாம் கொண்டு வந்தா what will not be there? I am the doer won't be there. Okay, I am the doer won't be there na. What does it mean? The very doing will give a pala, result. And whatsoever the result is, you are unaffected by it, though you understand, I am responsible for it. So, from one angle you are responsible, from another angle you are not responsible. From one angle you are the doer, from another angle you are not the doer. Why we still say it is a lower knowledge is because the real doer la patti nu pesave illa. Brahman, God la innu consciousness, Brahman la didn't even come into the discussion. The moment Brahman, the enlivening factor comes into the discussion, then only karma comes into jnana karma. அது வரைக்கும் இது just karma, a better karma, அவ்வளவுதான். And better karma, what will you get? Punya. And Isavasa Upanishad says, kshine punye. The punya also will become kshina. Kshina means? Kshine means deteriorate. It will? Kshine punye mrityu lokam, he says. Once that punya is gone, you will go back to? Back. Therefore, Karma Yoga has to be added up with Jnanam. You follow? It is Jnanam that comes and removes karma from the seed. Otherwise, you are only talking about action as in a better action, as in a better doer, a comfortable doer, where you are just, instead of drowning in the samsara, I am managing, sir. அப்படின்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? இது வரைக்கும் இருக்குது. You are drowned up to here. அதுக்கு மேல you are not yet completely drowned. As long as it is here, very soon it will come. Therefore, quickly keep gaining knowledge. You follow? Bodhonya sadhane yogi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam. Knowledge is the direct means for liberation. Karma aids for jnanam. But on the karma level, we have to understand so much. And then if you do it, it becomes an aid for jnana. What is it? On the one hand, you are not the doer. On the other hand, you are not the doer. At the same time, you are responsible. You are responsible, though you don't know. Though you don't know what you are going to get. அப்படின்னா are able to see how much you are shackled by it. On the one hand, you can't escape. On the other hand, you don't know. On the other hand, you don't know what you are going to get. Okay, you do shraddha, you do objectivity, you do Allah, you bring in and gather lot of punya. What happens to that? Isava says, kshine punya. So that punya also gets resulting in zero. Here comes the suffocation. When you understand all this, then the suffocation comes. What is the suffocation? What is the suffocation?
Get out of the cycle.
To get out of the cycle. இல்லன்னா சைக்கிளே நல்லா இருக்கும். It's okay sir, நல்லா தான் இருக்குது. நீங்க சொல்ற மாதிரி அவ்வளோ ப்ராப்ளமேட்டிக்கல் என்ன? Because of little bit of one or two techniques that you are practicing is keeping you floated, and you think that itself is enough. Because the comparison is with whom? Drowners. Comparison with those who are drowned. Who you should compare with? You should compare with the standards must be high. The standard must not be low. I can't compare that I am better in relation to someone who is more ignorant. I feel better only when I compare myself with somebody who is more ignorant. அப்ப அவங்களோட பார்த்தா better தான். But somebody is there above me. அவங்களெல்லாம் பத்தி பேசவே வேணாம், அவங்களெல்லாம் பார்க்க கூட வேணாமா? You follow? Ravi, are you okay? This is how it is reconciled. They are not contradictory. It is one aspect of action. Action has 4-5 parts to it. So from one angle, you have to look at it, and then you understand the other angle, and then you put all together. When you put all together, you know that they are not contradictory. You are able to follow? From the psychological angle, இது வரைக்கும் philosophy. From the angle of the mind, the moment you take responsibility, affectation becomes less. As long as the responsibility is other, you believe that you are a victim. The attitude that I am a victim comes. This is from the angle of the mind. எவ்வளவு பண்ணாலும் சுத்தி இருக்கிறவங்க அப்படி இருக்கிறதுனால அப்படியே தான் சார் இருக்கும். The attitude that I am a victim. You follow? When you take responsibility, what goes out is that I am the victim. What is it that you are a victim means what? Victim means helpless. Victim means helpless. Vedanta comes and says, you are not helpless as in the doing. அப்பாடா இந்த பிரின்சிபல் எல்லாம் ஃபாலோ பண்ணி கரெக்டா ஆக்ஷன் பண்ணா என்ன ஆகும்? என்ன ஆகும்? இதுதான் அப்ளிகேஷன். இதான் கரெக்டா, இதுதான் கரெக்ட். இந்த நாலேஜ் எல்லாம் புரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு இப்ப எல்லாம் பர்ஃபெக்டா ஆக்ட் பண்ண என்ன ஆகும் சார்? யுவர் டிசையர்ஸ் வில் கோ. ஐயோ, திஸ் பவர் I don't want elimination of the desire. I want fulfillment of the desire. Oh, this is how Karma Yoga eliminates desire. If you act in the way that it is said, what will happen? Desire will aathe padum. I thought it is a very effective way of fulfillment of desire without getting affectation. இது ஒரு நல்ல டெக்னிக்கா இருக்கேன்னு வந்தா இங்க என்ன இருக்கு? பேஸ்லயே this is how Karma Yoga takes away. This is how Karma Yoga removes the desires. When the intensity of the desire starts reducing, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am this and I ன்னு சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கிறேனே. What is this I? Who is this I? Your mind will cooperate for this vichara. A person who is filled with desire, who has not done Karma Yoga, can never do this vichara. He can't do. Even if he does, he will not know what he is. He will not know what he is doing. Are you able to follow? I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. This aham karta. The Sanskrit word is ahankara. This ahankara is the derivation from this notion aham karta. This aham karta develops ahankara. All comes from the root. The kara, the karta, all comes from the root kara, doing action. So ahankara, ego, is nothing but aham karta. So karta, karma, எல்லாத்தையும் karma எல்லாம் eliminate பண்ணியாச்சு. Now who is remaining? Karma is eliminated, the karta is remaining. Then he goes into this question of who is this karta? Who am I? Am I the beggar or am I the king? Janaka, who has done Karma Yoga, was able to ask this question. Am I the king or am I the beggar? Answer we know already. Ashtavakra came and said, you are neither. ஏன்னா பெக்கருக்கும் ஒரு பிரைமரி காசு இருக்குது இல்ல, கிங்குக்கும் ஒரு சார். வாட் இஸ் த பிரைமரி காஸ்? கான்சியஸ்னஸ். வாட் இஸ் இட் தட் enlivens everything? What is it that is vitalizing everything? That which enlivens everything, that which vitalizing everything is the primary cause. Since it is the primary cause, it is the doer. And you are that. Tat Tvam Asi. It's a complete knowledge. How they take you from the grossest part of action to the highest knowing of Tat Tvam Asi. Idea is we should come there one day. That's the whole idea. Illana you get so involved in action. Involvement in action means involvement in action means involvement in desire. Involvement in desire means involvement in the fruit. And to that person you can't say, don't be bothered about the result. To that person you can't say, don't be bothered about the result. Work without expectations. He will say, இதெல்லாம் கேட்க தான் நல்லா இருக்கும். இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டேபிள் சேர்ல உட்கார்ந்து லெக்சர் கொடுக்க நல்லா இருக்கும். In reality, it is not possible. Why? Because the affectation is still with the desire. You follow? Why you can't escape from action from another angle? Still I am talking about responsibility. From another angle, from the law of karma. You are responsible for your present because of your own past. Since you have created it, you can't escape, it is your responsibility. This is from the law of karma angle. Psychological angle in this one, we spoke from the angle of the pure Vedanta, the pure knowledge. Now we are talking from the angle of karma. You are responsible for your present because your present is created by your own past. Since you are the creator, you can do something about it. If you say you are not the creator, you can never do anything about it. Avladhan. Able to follow? If you say you are the creator, you can do something about it. If you say I am not the creator, means you are always a victim. That's how it is interconnected. Able to follow? Therefore, even from that angle, if you look at it, you have to take responsibility. Responsibility for what? Responsibility not for the phala, the future which is tomorrow. Responsibility for the action which is the present. So your responsibility is restricted to present action. Your responsibility is restricted to present action. You have nothing to do with the future of this action. Since you didn't know how to act like this in the past, you created your present. Now by this knowing, you will not create a future. அதுக்குதான் வேதாந்தா வந்தா பெட்டர் ஃபியூச்சர் எல்லாம் கிடையாது. நோ ஃபியூச்சர். வேதாந்தா வந்தா பெட்டர் ஃபியூச்சர் கிடைக்குமா சார்? வேதாந்தா டேக்ஸ் அவே த ஃபியூச்சரே அவே. ஏன்னா அடுத்த ஜென்மாவே கிடையாது, அடுத்த டிசைரே கிடையாதுன்னா வேர் இஸ் த ஃபியூச்சர்? இல்ல சார் அதெல்லாம் எங்களுக்கு வேண்டாம். ஐ வாண்ட் அ பெட்டர் ஃபியூச்சர்னா in the name of Vedanta you are doing something else in artham. Are you able to follow? In the name of Vedanta you are doing something else. Why? Because Vedanta means no zero future as in moksha. Zero future na naraka illa. Zero future as in moksha. Therefore you have a responsibility, but that responsibility is limited to the present. Why it is limited to the present? Because you didn't know it in the past. If you had known it in the past, you won't be in the situation that you are presently. Therefore, this present is your responsibility. Responsibility because of ignorance, correct. Responsibility because of ignorance. So, what are you responsible for? Ignorance, correct. My ignorance. Very true. But I am a very wise person, sir. I have PhD. I have achieved so much. Shankaracharya will say, the enlightened master will say, Krishna will come and say, you are a fool only. என்ன அடுத்த சைக்கிள் ரெடி பண்ணிக்கிட்டே you are ready for the அடுத்த சைக்கிள் ரெடி பண்ணி வச்சுக்கிட்டே. பட் அது நல்லா தானே இருக்குது. க்ஷீணே புண்ணியே அது போச்சுன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? Have you ever thought of it? போயிடுமா? அப்போ fear comes. Otherwise, as a karta, you believe that permanent phala. You get so involved with the phala only when you have misunderstood that the phala is going to be permanent. Yeah. அதனாலதான் யஜ்ஞ கர்மால every year you have to go with the appeal letter. You can't go for once with the appeal letter and permanently that fellow is going to give. It should not be done like that. Or if it is done like that, then it is not yajna karma. It means you are asking for that which is, you are asking for that which doesn't exist. You are asking for that which is not impossible. You are asking for that which is impossible. What is it? One action gives a permanent phala. One action will give one phala. 2020 ki 2020. இன்னைக்கு என்னது? Sunday no? January. Okay, let us say January 10 today. January 10 is over. So tonight, when you go to sleep, it's all zero and you have to start all over again. If you understand it rightly in this way, then there is a frustration of punaha api. Punarapi. Because how many times you do the same thing? Remember the story he gives? Swamiji gives the story of a wise man, so much of effort he does to roll the stone up the hill, and then everybody said, what a foolish man. He said, you people are doing this, not me. What is it? So much of effort, uphill task you get for what? To start all over again. This all over again. புரிஞ்சுக்காம இருக்கிறது தான் ignorance. That ahankara, the wanting to enjoy the fruit clouds it. You may not want to enjoy the fruit, but the fruit comes to you. You get tempted. You get lost. He always says, phala comes. I still remember that. He said, see, fruit varunda, when the fruit comes, you have stretched your hand to take it. Now remember, you have to start all over again. I was like, oh my God. You do something, the fruit will come. Foolishly, what will you do? You laugh and take it. What you don't understand is, you have neutralized it and you have to start all over again. Now, when the phala comes, what will you do? You take one step back and say, I have nothing to do with it. Next what I should do, let me focus on that. Opposite of that is wanting to sit and enjoy this is 10 நிமிஷமாவது என்ஜாய் பண்றேனே சார், அது கூட உங்களுக்கு பொறுக்கலையா? You have stretched your hands and you take it. Now what you have done? You have nullified it. Nullified it as in having to start all over again. And you think back, oh my God, all over again for this? All over again for one phone? All over again for one house? All over again for another car? All over again for some good name? All over again for some good fame? All over again, so much of effort for this. But the ignorance will not allow you to do this manana. The ignorance will not allow you to do this reflection. It will say, I am the doer. I am the doer. As a doer, I have legitimate ownership on the result. Who are you to say no? Correct? As a doer, I have. What is ignorance? As a doer, the person says, I have legitimate ownership. I have legitimate exclusive ownership. அது விட்டுறக்கூடாது எப்போதுமே. அந்த எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவிட்டி இருக்குதே, அதுதான் ப்ராப்ளம் எல்லாத்துலயுமே. அதனாலதான் டீம் ஒர்க் யஜ்ஞ கர்மா கலெக்டிவிட்டின்னு சொல்றது அந்த எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவிட்டியிலேருந்து வெளில வரணும்ன்றதுக்கு தான். அதர்வைஸ் வாட் இஸ் தட்? Everybody believes they have a right. No. What makes them to believe they have a right? For I am the doer. As I am the doer, I have legitimate, exclusive right. ஏன்னா, go back to the starting. நான் சின்சியரா பண்ண மாதிரி யாரும் பண்ணதில்லை. I have put my heart and soul. I have done it with sincerity. ரொம்ப unselfish எல்லாம் அப்படின்னா expectation becomes legitimate. You believe that you have a right to expect. Everybody believes that they have a right to expect. On what basis everybody believes it? What is the basis for it? The basis is I am the doer. So expectation break pannunna, what you have to break? Doer. You can't have the doership intact and tell yourself that I don't have an expectation. That's blinding darkness. Because doership, very subtly you are encouraging it. Are you able to follow? Everybody believes that they have a legitimate right over the phala. That is why expectation is a right. People believe they have a right to expect. Sir, ticket வாங்கினு போனா I have a right to expect the flight should be on time. இல்லையா? மாசம் கட்டுறோமோ வாரம் கட்டுறோமா? இங்க வாரம் ஃபீஸ் கட்டுறோம்ல. இங்க ஃபீஸ் கட்டி கிளாஸ் நடத்துறது உலகத்திலே இங்க தான் நினைக்கிறோம். We are paying. Abdina, we have a right to expect that it should be. Vedanta comes and says, you have no right to. You have to buy the ticket, but you have no right to. What? You have the right. Your right is in buying ticket only. அதுக்கு ticket வாங்கி தான் ஆகணும். அது முடியாது. ஏன்னா because you want to go, no. Why you buy a ticket? Because you already created the desire. Therefore you buy a ticket. After buying the ticket, அங்க போய் உட்கார்ந்துருக்கணும். இல்லையா? டெல்லியில கார்த்தால ஃபாக்னு நைட் ஃபிளைட் will come 5 hours. Delayed. You follow? ஏன் இப்ப அங்க காலையில ஃபாக் எதுக்குப்பா நைட்டு 10 மணிக்கு சொல்றீங்க? இல்ல சார். What is it? கரெக்ட். காஸ்கேடிங் எஃபெக்ட் சார். அது அங்க ஆரம்பிச்சா ஒன்னு இப்படிதான் சார் ஆகும். You can sue, go to the court, sue them, fight with them, curse them, say that the system doesn't work. That's why this country will never. You can say anything, whatever you want you can say. But one thing is true. What makes you to believe that you have a right to expect? I am the doer. But fog is not under that man's control. Hurricane is not under that man's control. முன்னாடியே சொல்லியிருந்திருக்கணும். அப்புறம் எதுக்கு டெக்னாலஜி? Somewhere down the line, the person genuinely believes that it is the right. And how much ever you hear, duties, not rights, duties, not rights, duties, not rights, we go back thinking, it's my right. It's my, yeah. Yajnala kuda, you can only make an announcement, switch off the phone, you can announce, that's all. You have no right to expect that they are going to switch off. Now you are free. So when some rings, you become deaf to it. Otherwise, rest of the half an hour lecture you can't hear because you become deaf, because that man was deaf when that announcement was made. Yeah. Because his mind went elsewhere. He was in எல்லாரும் எங்கேயோ இருக்கிறோம் இல்லையா? I live somewhere, you live somewhere, everybody lives somewhere. So nobody lives in the, so அந்த announcement போடும்போது he was living somewhere. So he became deaf for that moment. So what happened? Right? Yeah. அதுவும் அந்த ரிங்டோன்லாம் வேற எப்படிலாம் வச்சுக்கிறாங்க. காயத்ரி மந்த்ரா இஸ் த ரிங்டோன். நான் Mali flute is my ringtone. Your right is to make announcement only, not on opposite of that is what? Put a jammer there. You follow? Okay, you can put a jammer there, but then? You can put a jammer there, but then something else will? Why? Because somewhere down the line, as a doer, that person believes that I have a legitimate right to expect things to go in the way that I want all the time. It's the ego. Able to follow? Idu punyachana, there is no. You will do that which you ought to do. At least when that fellow rings, when that fellow's phone is ringing, you can still continue to listen to the lecture. Otherwise, you are agitated by, one deaf fellow makes you deaf for another 30 minutes. Because you start listening for the next 30 minutes. So it means, who's more powerful? Who's more influencing on you? Who's influencing you more? At least I used to think like that. Our பேசின இருக்கும்போது இந்த ringtone is disturbing me na, who's more influential on my listening? Ringtone. Still இன்னும் சிஷ்யாவா? Not yet turned into a சிஷ்யா as yet. சும்மா ஏதோ காது இருக்குது, ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்குது, கேட்டுன்னு இருக்கிறேன், அவ்வளவுதான். Are you able to follow? When you take responsibility like this, you become free. Are you able to follow? When you take responsibility like this, you become free. What is ahankara? What is ego? I am the doer, and since I am the sincere doer, having done with heart and soul into it, I have a legitimate right to expect the fruit in the way I want. Come up all the time. All the time வந்து முடிச்சாலும் you understand. இல்லன்னா if you leave sentences halfway, you will not understand. That is why I keep repeating to the point where you get bored of listening to it. But still, what to do? Are you able to follow? What is ahankara? Third time I am repeating. I am the doer, and I believe that I am a genuine, sincere, dedicated doer. Since me being a genuine, sincere, dedicated doer, I have legitimate, sir. Greed எல்லாம் இல்ல. அவனு எக்ஸ்ட்ரா வேலாம் கேட்கலையே. Legitimate. Whatever you call as legitimate. Whatever you call as I have a legitimate right to expect what? To expect things to happen in the way I want all the time. I am a genuine husband, sir. Yen wife em peche kekka matendraanga? What is the connection between the two? You are a genuine husband, no? You have doing your obligations. For that, you will be evolving. But what makes you to expect this will result in that? Are you able to follow? Nyayama car vaangana, sir. Modha naale met with an accident. What is the connection between the two? Car means it will meet with an accident, whether dharmic way or adharmic way la car acquire pannalum, dharmic way la car acquire pannalum, over speed apona it will meet with an accident. Where is in the dharmic way you acquire, what will happen? Next acquisition will not happen. For you have understood the futility of it. You are able to follow? In that way you get the original phala. If not, what will happen? You believe that you have a legitimate right to expect the result in the way that I want all the time. அது எப்படி கிடைக்கும்? கிடைக்காது. அதுக்குதான் நாலு எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன். சரியா? திருப்பி you come back to the same thing. இதுதான் மனநா. You follow? This is how you do. This is how you do manana. You keep coming back to from whatever angle you go, you keep coming back to that same point you have to come. Every time you come back to it, your knowledge is getting reinforced. Then you understand where lies your responsibility, where you don't have a responsibility. What you have right over adhikara? Adhikara doing good sari. Adhikara doesn't transfer into the fruit. At least opposite ஆக கிடைக்காம இருக்கும்னு guarantee கொடுங்க sir. You will be crucified when you try to. That man was trying to help that community, and what he got in return? Crucifixion, no? Even at that height of selfless service, the opposite can happen. Vedanta comes and prepares you from the beginning. Yeah. Is that so? The world says you are the best man. What did the wise man say? Is that so? You are the worst fellow the world has. World has seen very many worst fellows, Rakshasas, Asuras, Allah. But you are the Ravanare ungilta vandu picture edukonu sir. And you are the worst. Is that so? Why? Because his adhikara, his right, he knew the limitation of his right. What is the limitation of his right? Doing. That is the responsibility. You have no right over the result. Are you okay? This is how it is reconciled. Gahana karmano gatihi, he said. That's what he said. Gahana karmano gatihi. Meaning, the nature of action is impenetrable. Because from one angle you go, you get stuck in somewhere else. You try to overcome that, you get stuck elsewhere. You are responsible as in you are the cause for the action. Your responsibility is in relation only to the cause for the action. What is the cause for an action? Chronology of action. What is the cause? Desire. Who entertained the desire? You entertained desire. Therefore, but அது entertain பண்ணும்போது இப்படிதான் ஆகும்னு தெரியலையே. I didn't know the consequences. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. அதுக்குதான் நேச்சர்லயே புத்தின்னு ஒண்ணு, அதுக்குதான் நேச்சர்லயே இன்டெலெக்ட்னு ஒண்ணு கொடுத்துருக்குது. 6th 7th ஏஜ்ல இருந்து அவ டெவலப் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லிருக்குது. அதுக்கு அவ்வளவு மெட்டீரியலும் இருக்குது. பட் எனக்கு தெரியலையே சார். Now you know, no start. Now you know, no. But other, that is already, you have paid the, already you can't do anything about it. You're able to follow? You are responsible as in, you are the cause for an action. How you are responsible for the cause of action? Because you desired it in the past. When you desired it, you didn't know what the consequences are. Ingada, knowledge is needed before you get into life. Before you start developing desires, you need the knowledge of, you need this knowledge of telling you that what you are desiring, do you know there is a consequence? What you are desiring, do you know what the consequences are? Adukalla irukku. So many knowledges are, everything is spelled out very, very clearly. But the trouble is, we desire and we face the consequences of the desire, and when we face the wrath of the desire, the escapism. Lastly, remember this. Escapism is always only in relation to failures only. Will a successful person want to escape? Week after week after week he is making profit. Will he ever think of escaping? He will not. Are you able to follow? I have become too powerful now. Will he want to escape from that? So escapism is always in relation to what? What you feel as? What you see as failure. And what is failure? Very correct. What is failure? Result not coming in the way that you want. And you yourself know that it is not possible. You yourself know that that result will not come in the way that you want all the time, and yet you keep hoping for it, and yet you keep asking for it, and yet you keep wanting it. You know that it is not possible, and still you are hoping for it. Now what are you called? Fool. That's where Krishna says, Shankaracharya says, all great masters says, fools. Why? You know that it is not possible, and you still think that somehow you can make it possible, and you come and ask for technique of how to make it possible. Whoever gives you a technique, you will say, இவங்கெல்லாம் நல்லா பேசுறாங்க, ஆனா அவரு தான் brilliant. He knows exactly. Why? Because he caters to you. And there are enough people to entertain, to cater. Blind leading the blind. You follow? Kahana karmano gatihi. The nature of action is impenetrable. What is that impenetrating thing? At the surface level, idalla. At the deepest core, which we are not starting now, which we will start only from verse number 24 lena we will start. At the deepest core, what is not known in action, what is missed in action is the enlivening factor. Aham karta, I am doer, I am not the doer. What is completely missed? The Enlivening factor. As in Kenopanishad, the enlivening factor will say, if I switch off, what can you do? As in Kenopanishad. Because in the person, what is forgotten completely? இதுவே ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கு இல்லையா கேட்கறதுக்கு பிரயோஜனம் யூஸ்லெஸ் இதெல்லாம் பிகாஸ் the enlivening is the best. அது எப்படி கேனோபனிஷத்துல that's how they say it as a story, no? Yaksha stands, Agni came, Yaksha asked, who are you? I am Jatavedas. All knowing. அதெல்லாம் எனக்கு தெரியாதுப்பா, he said. Jatavedasum I don't understand. என்ன பண்ணுவ? Bread and butter. I burn everything. Oh, you burn everything? Everything. Burn this grass. When Agni was about to burn the grass, he withdrew the power from Agni. So Agni couldn't? It means what? For all the very many actions that is happening in this Maya, of all the various types of actions that is happening in this illusory thing, what is missed? The enlivening. At the deepest core, that always remains a mystery. Gahana karmano gatihi. Even from the angle of enlivening factor, if you look at it, nature of action is very deep. Why? Because the enlivening factor cannot be understood through any action. That which enlivens it is not a product of any action. Therefore, it is impenetrable. Why impenetrable? Because action cannot give you that. For in the world, if you want to get anything, you have to do action. Are you able to follow? In the world, if you want anything in the world, you have to do action. Enlivening factor வேணும்னா
next
drop the action. அதான் சார் ஓடி போலாம் ரெடியா நான் சொன்னேன். கிருஷ்ண அர்ஜுனா saying that's what I told you from the beginning. உள்ள திருப்பி அதே கன்க்ளூஷனுக்கு you are coming. No, there is a difference, Arjuna. You run away for good. If you run away from this battlefield, wherever you go, you will create another Kurukshetra. You may escape from this Kurukshetra, but wherever you go, you will create another Kurukshetra. So you are not escaping from anything. So in the world, if you want to get anything, whatsoever you want in the world, it is possible only through action, and moksha is not a product of action. Oh, ஆக்ஷனால முடியாதது கூட ஒன்று இருக்குது. லாட்டரி டிக்கெட் இல்ல, ஹாரோஸ்கோப் இல்ல, லக் இல்ல. வாட் இஸ் தட்? மோக்ஷா. கஹன கர்மனோ கதி. நேச்சர் ஆஃப் ஆக்ஷன் இஸ் டீப், இம்பெனிட்ரபிள். சரியா? இஸ் ஓகே ரவி?
Thank you.